So it has been quite a while since I did a supercar last, let alone an Italian car, and I figured since Aoshima was kind enough to send me this kit, that has been a while ago, I still needed to build it for them, so this would be the great opportunity to do so. So let's get a quick look at the box, then the box contents quickly, and then go into a bit more detail. So right away on the back they also have a lot of instructions and they show you which parts are included in the kit. They also show you which extra parts are included in the kit and you don't need for the build. So a couple of the slats here, some interior pieces that have been changed with a diamond cut and quilted piece, some of the diffuser pieces that are the same from the regular Aventador kit and don't need to be used on this one. With this, of course, being a hyper, or well, not a hypercar, just a supercar nowadays with a big V12 and a lot of aerodynamic pieces on the body itself, the chassis is also really aerodynamic and pretty sleek, so no real detail parts on here, as the real one is pretty much flat anyway, and so is this one, of course. The kit comes with an engine and therefore also an engine bay and a lot of nice detail parts to add onto there. This is the main engine cover for on the side pieces to cover up all the wiring and hoses that would look really weird inside of the engine bay. This is the main engine bay itself with a couple of small details in here, some of the shocks and some other parts and pieces, and also the main engine cover itself with a lot of the air inlets. And of course you will need to add some V12 and carbon badges and decals on this as well to make it look really cool and like the actual one, but those are included in the decal sheet. Even though most of these engine parts will be hidden, they did decide to add a lot of these in and even spend some time in detailing them. Now this is a bit of a plain part, but the top pieces, which could be visible from a couple of angles, are nicely detailed. They have an intricate exhaust system, and also these parts are super nicely detailed with all the individual bolts and ignition stuff in there as well. They even added a belt. There are of course also a lot of suspension pieces. Most of them are not really detailed apart from the arms, which have some detail on them, and this part also has some of the chassis pieces on, but mostly they just look the same and are pretty much hidden, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Same goes for all the other ones. They did spend some time on detailing them, but not all that much. The disc brakes themselves, however, are nicely detailed, all drilled, and even have the extra caliper, which I'm pretty sure is for the handbrake. So for the interior, a lot of these pieces are no longer needed as they have been replaced with some other ones. Specifically the headliner, the seats, pretty sure the door cards as well, and this center console have all been replaced with other parts that I will show later on, which have a diamond stitching in them. However, of course, the pieces that you will still need to use are also nicely detailed. Clearly, all the buttons are nicely in there, all very easily detailable with some paint, some nice vents, and an overall nice shape. So as I just mentioned, the stock seats, door cards, and even center console are no longer needed as they are replaced with these ones. They have a nice diamond stitch all over to entirely change the look of the interior. It also has a new center console and some other parts for the interior as well, including of course the headliner and also the back of the interior behind the seats, some more mesh parts, the new rear diffuser, and some more mesh and aero parts. With this being the 50th anniversary Aventador, it also has a couple of different aero parts and pieces, like this one for the rear. Pretty sure that's upside down. This is the way it should be mounted, which has a lot of the engine cooling systems in there, some mesh, and just a lot of incredibly complicated shapes all over the place to make it look absolutely insane and mean looking. So for this kit, they also added in a new aggressive front bumper, and that one is a two-part bumper, apart from all the mesh grills and stuff like that, in order to paint it easy. This one is supposed to be the main body color, and this one is either supposed to be black carbon or a sort of graphite gunmetal gray. Not too sure. They all just look black, but this makes it a lot easier to paint them in different colors as they are supposed to be. A lot more body pieces have also been added. I'm pretty sure this one has been changed to a newer one, or this is the newer one. No, I think this should be changed, but again, you can find that in the instructions. The hood is also a separate piece, which just needs some clear parts in there for the slats. They also have a couple of the surrounds for the grills. Not sure if these will be needed or if they will be changed, but during the build that will all be discovered. So with this being a kit with fully opening doors and also an engine bay, the doors are of course not molded into the body. Since this is a pretty weak part, if you just put it in the box, they did decide to add some bracing so it doesn't just bend all the way in and smash the entire body. Now I'm pretty sure this is the stock body for all the Aventador kits, of course not for the Roadster, so they just need to add some of these bumpers on instead of changing the entire body. So as you can see, the body did not have any of these parts on there molded, so of course they need to come separate. Some of the side skirts, another engine cover, the mirrors which come in multiple parts, and also some more body parts for on the sides, some of the vents, even the doors, and of course the rear wing, which you can position up or down according to your liking. So Aoshima makes multiple versions of this Aventador kit, so the main parts are just the standard kit, and then they added some extra parts for the 50th anniversary. And as you can see, a couple of these parts are now no longer needed, either replaced with some mesh or simply just not needed anymore as the shape is completely different, but that is all shown at the back of the instruction sheet, where they show the gray areas as shown previously. The kit also comes with a lot of clear parts. Now more specifically, these are for the engine cover, so you can look through them, but also they have a cooling and I think an aerodynamic purpose, and some parts for the dashboard, and I think this is for the engine bay and some of the indicators on the side as well. And along with that small sprue of clear parts, you also have a big one with the windscreen, some of the side windows, front and rear, the taillight lenses, headlight lenses, some more pieces for, I believe, inside of the headlights, a piece between the interior and the engine bay, and of course the ones for in the doors. Just so you don't have to paint these parts with a clear paint, they decided to mold them in clear plastic. They also done it for some of the orange pieces. This makes it really easy and also gives it a lot more detail and a lot easier of a detail than to do it by hand. In the kit they also have a couple of plated pieces. These ones are chrome for the headlight and taillight buckets and also the rear view side mirrors. Nicely detailed pieces with some of the LEDs in there. And of course a nice chrome finish all over to make it super reflective on the inside. They also have a couple of other plated pieces in a bit of a chrome silvery finish for the exhaust, and also nicely detailed on the inside with all the separate pipes. So with multiple versions of the same car, basically with some different aero and some different wheels, you obviously have a couple of different wheel sets available. Now these are not the stock wheels, they are actually from the Spider version and also for the 50th anniversary, so they could just easily use that. And as you can see, it even has the Roadster marking in it, so they know it is for the Roadster kit, but in this case also for the 50th anniversary. With this, of course, being a supercar, it has some really nice wide meat for on the rear, and with meat I mean tires. They also have a bit of branding on there, not really sure if that is shown really well, and a nice thread pattern. And for the front, they also included some tires which are a lot smaller, even in diameter. I think the front wheels are the same size, but the tires might be a bit different, or otherwise the wheels are a bit smaller, but not really noticeable. And as you can see, they all have a lot of nice detail all around. In order to make it easier to paint the black trim on the windows, they added some masking in here. These are pre-cut and should fit to size perfectly, so you can easily paint that black edge. For all the mesh and vent pieces, they added some photo-etch pieces in here, which look really cool and have the exact honeycomb pattern the real ones have as well. And since it is from Aoshima themselves, it should probably fit really well. So as you may or may not know, this kit has opening doors and also a opening engine cover. And for that they have some pins to keep it open and act sort of like a hinge or a strut brace. And of course they have some poly caps for the wheels so they can still spin a little bit. With this kit you get two decal sheets, one regular decal sheet with a couple of the 50th emblems, as this is the 50th edition for the Aventador, or probably the 50-year anniversary for Lamborghini, and they made it into an Aventador. So they have a lot of emblems, some license plates, some warning badges, and all stuff around. And they also have some more bigger decals for on the side if you wanted to, in multiple colors and sizes, to emphasize that it is a 50th anniversary. And that's obviously not what I'm going to add, but if you wanted to, you have the option.